to another episode of Classrooms to Closings. I'm Mary Beth Burns. I'm a local realtor here in the Metro Atlanta area, and I'm here to educate you on all things real estate. This week's episode is about a topic that was highly requested by my Instagram followers. If you're not following me on Instagram, you need to be. It's really fun over there. I'll put the information in the description box below. But anyway, my Instagram followers requested this video from me, and it's all about home renovation. Many of you probably know that we purchased our first home in like the best zip code, in my opinion, and not just my opinion. It's like always ranked number one in the papers and stuff, the best zip code in Atlanta. And we bought a complete fixer-upper. You can see this behind me. This house did not look like that when we came. But anyway, since we moved in back in December of 2016, we have been working on fixing up this house and doing 95% of the home renovation ourselves. And so I wanted to share with you all just some things that I've kind of learned throughout this process that can help you. I talked to a lot of home buyers and a lot of first-time home buyers who get discouraged because they have a certain price point and it's not buying them that move-in ready house where everything is turnkey. It looks like HGTV. That's just not in their price point, or they have to move like very far away from their desired location in order to get that. And a lot of people are afraid of home reno, and I've been living that life for the past couple years, and I just want to tell you that it's not anything to be afraid of. It's just something that you want to be informed about. And sometimes it's not the best decision financially to buy that move-in ready house. There's a lot of financial opportunity when it comes to fixer-uppers. I mean, our house has already appreciated in value by a lot. So it's definitely something to consider when you are looking for a home. So I wanted to break it down for you guys and just kind of share some do's and don'ts. So before I get into any of this, I just want to say that my home reno tips are coming from a place of if you want to renovate your home and be able to sell it for top dollar later. Like from a financial standpoint, these are my tips. I'm not really going to share like decorating tips and stuff because that's just not what the point of this video is. If you do want some decorating tips, I can share them. I'm not an interior decorator, but I can share what I like. But this video is just about tips if you want to buy a home, live in it or flip it, and then ultimately, sell it for a maximum profit. That's what these tips are for. So we'll start with the do's. The first do, number one, get a truck. It does not need to be a really nice truck. We got a truck for, I think it was like $1,000. We only use it to drive to Home Depot or the dump or the trim store or whatever. Initially, I was like, why don't we just rent a U-Haul? That would be so inconvenient. I'm so glad that we did not do that we just got a truck. Because you have to make so many more errands with large items than you think about, so get a truck. My number two do, buy in the best location. Don't buy a house that's not in a great neighborhood that you want to fix up, because at the end of the day, even if your house has granite countertops and like a beautiful new deck or whatever, if it's not in a good neighborhood, you can't change that, and people are not going to want to buy theirs. Number three, you want to make sure that you do know when it's time to call a professional. We do, like I said, most of our projects ourselves, and we do a lot of, I say we, my husband really does it. I kind of help from the sidelines, but he does a lot of the prep work. He spends a lot of time researching and watching YouTube videos and making sure that he knows what he's doing. And then, sometimes, most of the time, I guess, those projects don't come out. They're not as easy as they look online. And so sometimes he's able to figure that out on his own, and sometimes it's just best to call in a professional. What you don't want to do is do like a shoddy job just because you were so dead set on doing it yourself, because you're not going to make any money off that. So sometimes you just got to call in the man. It's a fine line though. You don't want to always call the man, because then you're not going to make hardly anything back. So you kind of want to balance it, but don't be too proud to call in the professional. It's their job. Number 4 on the do list is take pictures of the process. Not only just, as a cool thing to share with other people, but it's also really cool to be able to go back and look and see how far you've come. It's weird even being in this room, like sometimes I forget that it was covered in floral wallpaper and had carpet and had it was just really bad. So it's really cool to kind of go back and look and see, where we started and then where we ended. Number 5 on the do list, do the floors first. I've heard a lot of people say do painting first. That is a terrible idea because when you put in the floors, you're most likely going to nick the wall or damage the walls somehow, and so you would hate to do that on a freshly painted wall. Do the floors first, do painting last, and just put a drop cloth down on the floor so that they don't get ruined. Okay, so I want to get into some do nots, because the do nots are just important, maybe even more important than the do's. Number 1, do not buy cheap tools. Guys, when you go to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, and you see all the different tools that are there, there's gonna be some brands that are significantly cheaper. There's a reason for that. They are not going to last as long. Period. End of story. Ryobi, those are not good tools. Just pay the extra money to get the Milwaukee, DeWalt, whatever. I was not a believer. I was at the beginning saying, let's just get the cheap ones. And we did that once and it broke in 2 seconds. So we ended up having to spend more money. So invest in good tools. Do not buy cheap ones. Number 2, do not follow bold trends. You definitely want to follow trends. You want to, choose tile and choose cabinets and choose wall color and hardware and all those things that are trendy, but you don't want to get like a fleeting trend. Like for example, I've seen, I guess a couple years ago, that dark green walls, I'll put a picture here, dark green walls were really in. Those are on their way out, and that is a very bold choice to make, a dark green wall. So try to avoid those things. Be on trend, but you want to pick trends that are also kind of timeless, if that makes sense. Number 3, do not have unrealistic expectations. You guys, fixer upper is a show. That is not real life, okay? It is going to take you 10 times as long, maybe 20 times as long. It's going to cost you more. You're gonna have a lot of hurdles, and they're not all gonna be solved in an hour-long episode, okay? This is a marathon, so just go into every project knowing that it's going to be really difficult, and then the off chance that it isn't, you're not disappointed. Do not be unrealistic. I have to remind myself that all the time. Number 4, do not buy the most expensive stuff. I need you, if you don't hear anything else in this video, I need you to hear this. It is not about what you spent on the house. It is about what a buyer is willing to spend on your house. I've been talking to this woman who is convinced that she should do for sale by owner. But I've been talking to her, and in her listing on Zillow, she has the cost of all the renovations she did. So she'll say like, new kitchen, parentheses, $20,000, new bathroom, parentheses, $11,000, da da da. She thinks buyers should pay the exact price that she paid for her renovations, and some of her renovations are not good. So keep that in mind. You don't want to, just because you like this, like let's say shower tile. Sometimes shower tile can get really expensive. Let's say you pick a really, really high-end tile. Well, if you just want it for your own happiness, that's fine. But it's most likely a buyer is not gonna pay that amount for the tile that you like that just happen to be more expensive. So don't get the most expensive thing. Don't get the cheapest, get the middle of the road thing, or find a good deal. Don't be fooled by the more I spend, the more I'll get back, because that's just not, it's not real. Number 5, do not throw out your receipts. There's a lot of home renovation projects that you can put on your taxes to get deductibles. So a lot of things that like you might not even realize. So if you are doing home reno and you have questions about like if any of your stuff's tax deductible, I've been doing this for a couple years now and I can definitely help you with that. But save all your receipts, get a little envelope, put home reno on it, and then put all your receipts in there and you'll get even more money back before you even sell. So pretty cool. Okay, I didn't want to bombard you with all of my home reno tips. Those are just the ones that kind of stood out to me as I was creating this list. So if you guys like this video, I'll do more home reno stuff. But anyway, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classrooms to Closings, and I will see you all next week. Bye.